solved it, Riddler.
Growing up, I always saw the Riddler as just a goofy green question mark clad crook, especially when it comes to live action portrayals. Starting with Frank Gorshin in the 1960s Batman TV show, then there's Jim Carrey's Riddler in 1995's Batman Forever, both fantastic performances by the way. But now with 2022's The Batman starring Robert Pattinson as the Dark Knight and Paul Dano as the much darker Riddler, fans are starting to take the enigmatic villain more seriously. I'm Matt Rogers and join me today as we take a look at the Riddler's most sinister acts and discuss why he may just be the most evil Batman villain there is. Now, fair warning, there will be a few spoilers throughout as it's difficult to talk about the things he's done without mentioning a few key plot points. I will be sure to mention what media I'll be talking about beforehand though, so that should help if you want to avoid specific spoilers. In the spirit of today's video, I'm going to be giving you a riddle that I'll reveal the answer to at the end. The riddle is from the Riddler himself and it reads, "We're 5 little items of an everyday sort, you'll find us all in a tennis court." Let me know in the comments if you think you know the answer, and bonus points if you think you can tell me which movie, TV show or comic the riddle is from. Now I'm bringing you news and updates for all the latest movies and TV shows and delivering them straight to your subscription feed. So to stay up to date and support the channel, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe and ring that bell to not miss a single thing. I personally sat up and started to take notice of the Riddler in the Arkham Asylum video game series, played by the brilliant Wally Wingert. Easily my favourite voice portrayal of the character.
I have billions of eyes, yet I live in darkness. I have millions of ears, yet only 4 lobes. I have no muscle, yet I rule 2 hemispheres. What am I? It's the human brain, idiot.
My favourite side of that character is when he's most like Jigsaw from the Saw franchise. Not only in the Arkham series, but the recent Batman movie also. Exposing Gotham's supposed idols and dragging their sins into the light. In the Arkham Knight game, Riddler even rigged a Saw-style trap on Catwoman by locking a bomb collar around her neck. The Riddler forced the Caped Crusader to take part in this and other wicked games of life or death by persistently hacking into his Batcoms, a method that you'll find he uses quite often. If only Batman had a good VPN, he wouldn't have to worry about these consistent intrusions. Well, funnily enough, this video is brought to you by NordVPN. There are countless reasons to sign up with NordVPN. Has your favourite TV show been taken off a streaming service or not available in your country? Or do you just want the freedom and peace of mind to securely browse the internet without having to worry about the prying eyes of hackers? Well, NordVPN has super fast and secure servers in 60 countries for you to choose from. That means that you can have access to Netflix from any of these countries that you want. Me being an Australian means that our streaming catalogues are very limited, and I personally have been using NordVPN for this very reason. The other thing I absolutely love is that you can securely browse on 6 devices at once per account, so no need to log in and out when switching from one device to another, whether it be your phone, tablet or PC. To celebrate NordVPN's 10th birthday, go to nordvpn.com/matthewrogers or click the link in the description box below to get an exclusive deal on a 2-year plan just for you guys. This amazing deal not only includes 1 month free, but also a surprise bonus gift. Plus the best part is it's risk-free with NordVPN's 30-day money-back guarantee, so what have you got to lose? A huge thank you to NordVPN for supporting the channel and making this video possible. Now, let's get back to the video. Much like some other familiar Batman villains, the Riddler finds joy and validation by getting found out or even caught, as long as he remains the smartest in the room. Priding himself on outsmarting his opponents, he, for the most part, allows his victims to figure out the answers to his puzzles, or at least what he wants them to think is the answer. But whether or not these answers lead to the victim's escape or demise depends on the Riddler's scheme at the time. A great portrayal of the Riddler was in 2019's DC animated movie Hush, and yes, a spoiler warning if you are yet to and interested in watching the movie. After a bunch of Batman's most classic rivals crawl out from Gotham's underbelly, it is revealed that the Riddler has more to do with it than first meets the eye. Here, Edward Nygma is sure to stay 2 steps ahead and has the forethought to narrate Batman's every move of how he will figure out the mystery, and is correct down to every last detail. The Riddler's genius intelligence not only allows him to accurately guess people's thought process at how they will approach his games, but also how specific victims, i.e. the Dark Knight, will think outside the box and try to fool him, making his plans almost impossible to foil. In Hush, he proves this by managing to successfully manipulate the classic Batman villains to do his dirty work for him, just with sheer genius and awareness of how they all think, including Joker. This goes to show that having a plan can have its benefits.
Do I really look like a guy with a plan?
But where the Riddler is arguably at his most evil is neither in cartoon or live action form, and instead in the comics. Let's take the Riddler and the Riddle Factory, for example. In this one-shot comic, the Riddler starts his own pirate television show, for the purpose of exposing and humiliating Gotham's elite and most famous celebrities, or so it first appears. But all is not as it seems, as the Riddler of course has an ulterior motive in this plan. But regardless of his true intentions, some of the victims exposed by this gossip show cannot handle living with the shame of these rumours, and end up taking their own life as a result. Something many fans of the character are not aware of is that the Riddler had a daughter in the comics named Enigma, which ended up being one of his darkest story arcs. A major spoiler warning here for the Teen Titans comic series. During a father-daughter mission to recover Two-Face's infamous coin from Mario Falcone, the mission turns awry, resulting in an unnecessary massacre, and the mission turns out to be a waste of time. Enigma turns on her father and calls him a has-been. The Riddler in turn, not appreciating this attack on his intelligence and seeing no reason to keep her around, asks the question, "What's green and purple?" and bleeds profusely, then proceeds to kill his own daughter. One of the most mainstream versions of the character is of course Jim Carrey's in Batman Forever, an extremely colourful, cartoonish, eccentric yet somehow still dark rendition of the character. I really enjoyed the over-stylised comic book look of this movie, especially Enigma's mad scientist aesthetic and iconic costumes. Although the vibrant neon colours keep the feel of the movie light-hearted, it's easy to overlook the darkness of Enigma's character. Mind control is his weapon of choice, which arguably is one of the most dangerous tactics a villain can use. This culminates in Batman's true identity being revealed, and there's little worse a villain could do to destroy the Caped Crusader and his beloved Batcave.
For if knowledge is power, then a god am.
But as we've already seen, the Riddler doesn't stop at taking down just the Batman. Take another live-action version of the Riddler, for example. This one is commonly overlooked due to mixed reviews of the show itself, Gotham, where Enigma is portrayed by Corey Michael Smith. Here we are given a rare glimpse at the origin story of the iconic villain. Again, some spoilers for Gotham if you've yet to see it. Although not quite as morbid as his comic book counterpart, Edward Nygma's love interest Kristen Kringle's partner is abusive towards her, and Edward takes the matter into his own hands by killing him. He later admits his wrongdoings to Miss Kringle, who panics, and Edward does the best to shut her up, which in fact kills her in the process. A tragic end to yet another brave soul that came just too close to the Riddler. In 2022's The Batman, director Matt Reeves made an interesting comparison to his version of the Riddler to the real-life Zodiac Killer. In an interview with the website moviemaker.com, Reeves had this to say on the topic. Quote, "The premise of the movie is that the Riddler is kind of moulded in an almost Zodiac Killer sort of mode, and is killing very prominent figures in Gotham, and they are the pillars of society. These are supposedly legitimate figures. It begins with the mayor and then it escalates from there. And in the wake of the murders, he reveals the ways in which these people were not everything they said they were, and you start to realise there's some kind of association. And so just like Woodward and Bernstein, you've got Gordon and Batman trying to follow the clues to try and make sense of this thing in a classic kind of detective story way. A more grounded, realistic, sadistic version of the Riddler is a side to the character that I've always wanted to see explored and pushed further, and that's pretty much exactly what we got in The Batman. I completely appreciate it for the more down-to-earth, slow-burn detective noir that we got. Plus, Dano's delivery of dialogue is just perfection, and he just bounces off the best live-action portrayal of Bruce Wayne and Batman I've seen for a long time. Much like Cesar Romero's Joker transitioned to the likes of Mark Hamill, Jack Nicholson and Heath Ledger's Joker, I can see something similar happening with the Riddler now that he's been given the chance to be the Caped Crusader's primary antagonist. But what do you think? Do you think the Riddler has what it takes to stick around and outsmart the likes of Gotham's greatest heroes and villains? Is there another Batman villain you'd like to see step into the spotlight in the next Batman? I'd love to hear what you think, so let me know. I'll be down there in the comments. Now it's time to answer the riddle from the start of the video. The question was, we're 5 little items of an everyday sort. You'll find us all in a tennis court. The answer to this little conundrum was vowels. The riddle refers to 5 little items found in the 3 words a tennis court, which contains all 5 vowels in alphabetical order. And bonus points are awarded if you remember this is one of Jim Carrey's Riddler riddles from Batman Forever. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe for weekly videos covering your favourite movies and TV shows. If you subscribed during this video, then welcome aboard, and if you had a good time hanging out, then spank that like button. This is Matt Rogers, and that is all.